Good evening, everyone. All right, we got a few people in here already. And climbing. Yep, changing the time has definitely helped. Okay, we've got a lot to get through here tonight. Do hold your questions if you can, because one of the first things we'll cover, um, we are actually going to do topic based live streams through October. We're going to try and focus the live streams on those topics so we can go deeper into them. And I'd hope that we can keep the questions geared toward those. If we run out of questions or cover the topic well enough, then we can go into a random Q&A with the live streams. There's been a lot of people who's been asking me to go back to the old topic oriented magical coffee hour and research and ramblings. And why is my collar all bunched up there? Anywho, and I thought that's a great idea to try it. And October is a perfect time to try something new. So we will definitely be giving that a whirl. So that's going to be the format for October. With that said, if you all have any topics that you would like us to touch on, shoot them to us at Discord or shoot them here in the chat, and we will try to cover those. If we don't get to them in October, we can continue to do coffee hour research and ramblings topic focused after October so that we can do that. With that said, another huge thing for my tier 3 Patreon members and channel subscribers, we have actually started doing the members only live streams. We worked out most of the bugs for those of you who joined us this Monday for the members only live stream. It was great to be able to sit down and chat there. As you know, we ran into a few glitches, but we powered through. And I think we now have a way that can be at least bi-weekly. So I look forward to that. And you all gave me some great ideas for conversations that we can have. Since it is a more private stream, it allows us to touch on topics that, let's be honest, we can't go public with most of the time, just with, it is a public forum here, and YouTube's generally 13 and above, so we got to be wary of those kinds of things. And I'm looking forward to having those conversations with you all. So if you're already not a tier 3 subscriber and you are wanting to get in on those, make sure that you do sign up, because those are going to be happening more often. At this time, we're shooting for bi-weekly. And I will be posting it in the Patreon channel, as well as the channel section, where I can post messages and stuff. The community tab, that's what they call it here on YouTube. And I'll do so with a few days notice, because yes, we was able to get everything together, and I scrambled to put it together, and I tried to get it out there quicker for you all. And I didn't want to delay it another week, so I did go ahead and post it short notice, and I apologize for that, but I didn't want y'all waiting anymore, because you guys have been supporting the channel and helping us out so much. I'm really trying. So thank you very, very much for that. Fun fact, though, last year we did an art contest. Everybody remember this? This is the winner of last year's Halloween Working Dragon Mystic art contest. Let's see if I can get the glare out of that. Yes, I even ordered one of the coffee cups myself. We are going to do another art contest this year. So if you are interested in entering the art contest, what you need to do is either email me your artwork at workingdragonmystic.com or send it to me on Discord. You can find the link to the Working Dragon Mystic Discord server in the About section of this channel. And just do up your art and submit it. I don't vote on it personally. I have a whole other group of people vote on it so that there's no bias. That said, however, the shop where I do the items, they're not going to let me do the free stuff right now. So the best I can do is the winner of the contest will get their item or their artwork, should they want it, on an item in the shop. and I will let you choose the item this year. So you can have a coffee cup or one of the wall prints. If honestly, the bigger the item, the higher quality the image. So be aware of that. The coffee cups are the easiest just because they're smaller. But the winner will also get a coupon for the item so that they can go in there and get it ordered with the coupon at the best coupon the shop will give me. They used to give me free coupons. They don't do that no more. It's like, because, the shop gets their cut and I can't discount their cut. So there's that. But the contest this year, we're not going to do Working Dragon Mystic per se. I want to go beyond that this year. It was so fun to see what you all did using this channel and the ideals of this channel. You guys did amazing, and I thank you for it. This year, I want to open it up to just Halloween, Samhain, and all that in general. I want you to really think about Magick, Halloween, the solstice coming up, Samhain, and really let your creativity flow with that. Okay? So we're going to make it very broad this year in order to really get those creative juices flowing a bit more. Alrighty, let's see. Let's get a few questions before we cover a little more of this. Say hello to some people because we are busy in here tonight. Birdie, thanks for having me on the TV. And hey, nothing wrong with being in a camper. That's some fun stuff there. Jade, good to see you. Luna, hello. Celeste, you haven't missed much by the time you popped in here. A12, good to see you. Bornoldus, good to see you. PG, glad you made it. Wildfire, good to see you. Rachel, glad you made it. Yeah, they already got you, Adam. I do not do that. I do not mess with. I'm actually fully 100% against messing with the free will of an individual, which is exactly what that is. So no, I don't. And yeah. We might be able to get one of those. Yeah. If one of the admin can write down pantheons, put down Celtic in there, and probably Norse. We'll probably want to write down the Norse too. We got a lot of Norse questions on here. So yeah. Yeah, just try to do the art. I know a lot of people did submit their artwork. They painted it and then tried to take a picture and submit it. That is fine. You can do that. Just try to make sure the picture quality is good, because when I upload it on whatever item you choose to put it on, it gets picky. Even if you win but don't want it on an item, you can still get the discount for the store for one of the normal coffee cups. This one was limited edition, so I don't think it's available anymore. So you could use your coupon to get something else if you don't want your artwork in the store. I'll consider the class coupon. I'll think on that one. I will think on that one. That might be doable. We might be able to trade it off for some kind of a discount on a class at the very least. Let's see. We got a lot of questions filing up in here. Exactly what is a parasite? Like bad evil beings that eat your energy, were human ones, etc. There's two different things you mentioned there. Astral parasites are just like energetic, things within the planes that can honestly, a basic cleansing spell, even a shower can wash those things off. They're like next to nothing. But if you don't take care of it, it can, drain you. The other ones, it's more actual beings. They're just human spirits that are, they were a dick in life, they're a dick in death. And again, a basic banishing, something as easy as the lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram can work. A simple basic circle casting. You can easily use a little incense smoke to cleanse yourself. Even blessed water sprayed on your face will kick them off. Um, Dragon's Flame Ritual that we present here on this channel can do the same thing. Very easy to handle, not nearly the traumatic, horrible problem so many people want to paint them as. Let's see. Stuart, what is Goofer Dust? Goofer Dust is actually part of the voodoo tradition. It has a very specific way to craft it. And most of the Goofer Dust that you'll see online or in most of these shops is nothing. It's not Goofer Dust. Let's just call it what it is. Though you like a lot of people who will sell it due to the novelty concept. It has a lot of different uses. A lot of them baneful. Most of them baneful generally. As far as the formula, that I can't give you. You can put the image, whatever you want to paint for the contest, as long as you can submit the image, you can do it. That's fine. And we'll try to spotlight the image in some way, whether we'll announce the winner in a video where we can put up an image or something, or in some way we'll do something to announce the winner and show off your artwork. I'm actually considering this year, just so y'all know, I'm actually considering when I get all the entries in this year, doing a video composite of all the entries and show all the entries and then show who won. Because you all do some amazing art. You really do. You guys amaze me what you can do. So I think y'all need some recognition, even if you just enter. Discovered your channel a few days ago. Can't believe I'm watching you via live stream. Hey, glad you found us. Mugs up to you and welcome to the party. No, the Fey ancestry of humans has nothing to do with our ability to use magic. Every entity in the multiverse has access to magic, period. Magic isn't something special. All right, so a few more things that we need to get into here. Weekly challenges will be returning. We have gotten constant emails of y'all wanting us to bring back these weekly metaphysical challenges to push our practice further. And there for a while, I was back and forth on whether we should do it, but with the constant piling of emails that I've been getting asking for them and the private messages in the Discord, I actually thought that'd be a great idea. I really did. And we do still have the challenge channel over in the Discord as well. So we are going to be bringing back the weekly challenges. So again, if you have any ideas for something you think might make a good challenge, you do feel free to message me or the admin, and we will add it to a list that we are going to compile in order to do this. And we are going to start tonight because I actually have a topic for tonight, not just announcements. And the challenge for tonight and the topic is about overload. This is something I've been dealing with all week, and I've been trying to figure it out for myself. And I thought it would be very important to remind everyone here, because overload is something that happens to us all for many, many, many reasons. And you got 17 people and 8 likes. People, give us a thumbs up. Let the YouTube know you like what we're doing. And overload can happen due to overloading your workings, overloading your practice, overcomplicating your practice, overcomplicating your spell work, all these things. Remember, focus is one of the most important things when it comes to magic. Now, a lot of people think if 1 or 2 or 3 items in a spell is a good thing, then obviously the more I can cram in there, the better. That's not true, because every item you cram in there, you're going to have to place some focus too. And when it gets too big, your focus begins to shatter with it. and you can actually make it so big, so complex, it does nothing. It's kind of like the build a better mousetrap concept. They really haven't built a better mousetrap than the old snap traps. They are still the most effective because they work. They're simple. They're not complicated. And keeping it simple is one of those things. So I myself, and I'll get into this more specifically as the topic, but for the challenge this week, I want you to look at your practice and ask yourself, where do you have more bells and whistles than you need? What can you simplify for a week, a whole week? Simplify something for a week and move forward with a simplification and put more focus to your growth than the complexity of the process. There's a lot of people I've seen do a lot of things, and literally every time they're talking to me about lack of results, if they roll back and simplify, they make leaps and bounds and gains. One of the admin, I won't call you out too much here, had that very same issue in the Discord. And they reeled it back, went back to square one, simplified, and boom, they rock and rolled forward. So the challenge this week is going to be a simple one, pun intended. But it's also difficult because once we get used to certain habits, even if they're not necessarily good habits in our practice, it can be hard to reel them in. But find something, simplify it, bring it to simple, easy solutions, and apply more direct focus. Remove the stress, remove all the bells and whistles, and just keep it simple. You'll be amazed at how well it works. And of course, all these challenges, keep them in your journal. We harp on the journals all the time because the journals are your best friend. Keep your results in your journal. Let's see. April, Drake, do you know any resources for words of power outside angel magic? I'm wanting to incorporate more vocal elements into practice lately. Honestly, any word can be vibrated into a word of power. This concept that there's very specific linguistics or words of power doesn't really work that way. I know there are amazing books out there with words that are crafted using different ways, but those words are essentially crafted as a spell, and you can make up your own words that do just as well. In fact, if you go check out the rune magic video and specifically look up the video talking about Golder, Golder magic is spoken, vibrated runic magic. And you can use the runes as words of power. You can combine them, mix them around, and use vocal words of power to get almost instantaneous change. I'll be honest, I use Golder to change a red light green so I don't get stuck in traffic around this crap hole. I don't like the traffic where I live, people. So yeah, I would actually go and look into the Rune Magic playlist actually for words of power and stuff. Sarah, I'd like some advice on opening an online store website. I am not a business advisor in any shape, form, or fashion. Not getting in that legal entangle. Let's see here. Autumn, has there been a time when you weren't allowed / able to go back to your body when working with an entity in the astral or whatever, like you haven't learned the lesson or something? Okay, you don't get stuck in the astral, period. You can't get stuck astrally. In soul travel, there can be times where an entity can stop you from snapping back, but you're not trapped. You're just stopped from snapping back while a singular event takes place. And though the event may feel like it takes sometimes hours, the event literally only takes milliseconds. So you're not going to get stuck. There's all these horror stories out there, and it is honestly, most of these horror stories are just to try and scare people away from practicing. and or to get you to spend a lot of money to take their course and how to safely navigate these things that aren't going to happen to begin with. There have been times though where during soul travel I have had that, that momentary freeze frame where the event had to play out before I snapped back. But there was a purpose behind it and all that, and it was during a specific path working. And for me, it's happened mostly within the Clifothic workings and that path working, which, as you all know, I've said before, is very, very harsh. But like I said, again, we're talking milliseconds, which even when you snap out of it, it was just milliseconds. So it's one of those things where that whole getting stuck stuff, it just doesn't happen. Okay, so when I was saying we was going to talk about the overload issues, so me specifically in my practice, I do a lot of stuff, a lot of personal workings and path workings, and of course I try to keep up with the channel and everything. I recently have been working on the Winter Fae path working. Many of you heard me say I think I'm going to have to repeat it again because I'm not sure if I've been getting all the bits and bobbles. And I found out that's a fact. The Winter Queen made it very, very clear. Yes, you're repeating this because right now what you're doing is what she views as just the guided tour. You're not really taking part. You're just getting the guided tour, the lay of the land. And she said that because my focus is not on that path working due to me still working on the Clifothic path working. And she will be damned if she splits her focus or allows me to split my focus. And that's fair. That is legitimately fair. So, yes, that is going to be going another, I guess it'll be next winter when I do it because I'm already doing it this winter and I'm going to have to finish out the guided tour, as she said. And just to let you know, Mab's idea of a guided tour and mine, a little different, because even the guided tour has been a rough walk. But it's been enlightening all the same. So I'm going to have to look into my personal practice and juggle how that's going to work. And as many of you know, I'm attempting to get the tarot class filmed. We have hit many a delay on that. Life has just jumped up and bit me this last week or two. And many of you in the Discord server know that anything that could be on a calendar just chose like this last week to just be there. So there may be a slight delay, but that tarot class is still very much a priority. You guys can still look forward to that. Now, during all this though, and during my meditations, my speaking with many of the entities I do, I have looked and I have realized that I have essentially reached too far. I've overextended. I'm going to have to reel that back in some different ways or fashions or whatnots. And part of that is one of the reasons I'm wanting to consider doing these focused live streams, because if we have a focus on the live streams, it allows us to stay on target, stay on focus, and it's a lot easier to try and answer questions as best we can and to try and move forward with that. And it makes it a little easier for me to also focus on my work outside of here, which is good. But I'm also going to have to personally try not to undertake multiple projects just for the channel's sake. Because I dove into this Fae pathworking head on in order to try and rush being able to get the Fae pathworking to you all. And it bit me in the ass because now I'm overtaxed and it didn't speed anything up for you all. Lesson learned. See, us old farts are stupid too. We still learn it. So that's a whole thing that I'm now going to have to sit back, rewind, and reevaluate, rebalance, and recalibrate so I can be the best Drake I can be and keep great content coming to you all. So bear with me as I recalibrate because, I may be a nutcase this winter, people. Let's see. We got a few things. Scraps, good to see you. Hope you're I am doing well. A little busy, but doing well. Uh, da, 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 da. How do I suggest going about writing things down in your journal? Any tips and like, I've been thinking about doing a video on that, Scrimps. Right at this moment, I usually include the date that I do it. Sometimes I'll include the time of day actually, I always include the time of day when when I write the entry. Um, but I do track the dates. Sometimes if I do a spell that works with the sun or moon, which is rare, I'll admit, I'll record that. I don't really work with zodiacs or planetary hours like ever. So I rarely record those. The magicians who do, they would record that. Beyond that, I actually just write down everything that happened with that and my findings and what I felt, what I noticed, the exact details. What did I do? What elements did I apply to the spell? How was my focus in that spell? Was I on my game? Was I off today? Because, we all have off days where our focus isn't what it could be. I write all that down for my notes. And of course, I also write down my projected manifestation date because I'm one of these people, when I do a certain working, depending on how I do the working, I also set a manifest by date. I ain't one of these, it'll manifest at some point in some mysterious way. No. Y'all know me. I'm a data junkie. I don't do the whole, it'll manifest in some mysterious way. Mm-mm. I will look for ways that it could have manifest, but if it can't manifest and fill whatever need or goal I have within a reasonable time period, magic ain't worth it. That's I spent many years in church praying for shit I didn't get. I can go back to church if that's what I want. So I also record the expected manifestation date. If I do not feel that the spell has worked, I actually go back, rework the spell, and find out where I screwed up. That's the first thing I always do is I look at where I screwed up, and I work on my methods and my processes to improve it. Even if it works, I actually try to tweak it and see if I can get it to work better. But as far as specifics, that's really the biggest things I do. That's one of the reasons I don't know if a video would be worth it, because everyone records their information differently and finds different things usable. But that would actually be a fair framework, Scrimps, to get you going. And then look at what you do use. Like if you use a specific candle, write it down. Even write down the type of candle. Because I found, if I use a taper candle, I write that down, or a tea light, I write that down. And over the years, I've found different candles actually seem to function better depending on what type of spells I'm using. And it may just be a preference in how I'm doing the spells and the candles. I totally admit my preference for candles could be personal, which most magic does come up with that personal thing, and that's wonderful and fine. But you don't know what's going to affect the magic if you don't have those notes. Let's see. Do-do-do-do. Let's see what we get. Link below to what? I missed the. If you're asking about the Scrying class, I don't currently have a link for it. It's not done. So, yeah, I don't have a link for the Scrying class just yet. But it will be up at the Working Dragon Mystic School, which is at workingdragonmystic.com. You click courses, pops you right over there. Oh, you changed your name on me, mate. Herzog, welcome. Rachel, how do you start working with Belial recently received? Rachel, same way you would start with any entity. If you actually go check out my videos on how to find an entity to work with and contacting an entity or deity, both of those will help you, as well as basic meditation and reaching out to them through sigil meditation. Those are all fantastic ways to get started working with any entity, including Belial. Which we had a lot of great responses to this week's Paimon video. Paimon's always a favorite. People love him, and I don't blame them. We do have another important topic I want to touch on here for everyone. Okay. Now, over the last, oh my God, it's been 4 to 6 months. I have been getting emails and emails and emails and emails talking about science backing Magick and quantum transportation and how science and quantum physics proves alternate realities. And um, I've even gotten emails asking, is alternative medicine safe? What's the proof behind it? I've gotten one person who chewed me out because I tell people Magick doesn't replace modern medicine. And me and several colleagues have discussed this for a long time because they know I love science. They know I love Magick, and they know the two are not the same, nor do I claim they're the same. I approach Magick in a scientific like way, but I do not claim science proves Magick. There's very different things here. And over the last 6 months, these emails have shown me there is a very, very horrible and dangerous trend that has popped up within the occult community of misuse of scientific terminology to either unknowingly or knowingly purposely swindle individuals. And that really burns me. As both a magician and someone who loves science, I get burned on both sides of this. And I, as someone who I do pride myself on my data and my journal keeping and the approach that I try to take in Magick, which has allowed me to teach people. And I don't mind if someone goes on faith, but I do get a lot of people coming to me on this, and I always thought I'm not the guy to talk on that. I'm not the guy. There's got to be someone better. I'm kind of coming to realize there's not a lot of people that are going to attempt to have that conversation because either they're going to come from the metaphysical and science is lying and evil, or they're going to be scientists who are strictly data driven. And I know a lot of scientists that will admit the data says this and this ain't science, but there's nothing wrong with this as long as you don't take it to a dangerous area. But I'm noticing that a lot of the scientists talking aren't driving that second point home as much. And I understand why they don't. But it's also it's creating an imbalance in the discussion. And I'm not going to lie, people. This is something I am going to try and touch on a bit, probably in the live streams. I may do some videos on it because, the first one is I don't know how many people have sent me something about quantum mysticism, quantum this, and dimensions. The word quantum, I can't think of most magicians that send me these questions that actually understand the definition of that word. They think quantum means outside the physical reality. That's what they think. They think it has to do with non-physical, where it's actually quite the contrary. Quantum deals with the smallest measurement of physical reality. Scientists do not measure anything outside physical reality, period. Even in quantum physics. So if you're using quantum to mean other dimensions or other realms outside the physical, right there, you don't know the definition of that basic word. So, and you can't just interchange words. You can't claim that this word in science proves something mystical if you're not literally using the scientific definition of the word. And this is the big disconnect because we use words differently. I know we do in English. Now, I'm not bilingual unless sarcasm counts. If sarcasm counts, I'm bilingual. But I'm almost certain in many, many cultures, words are used in multiple ways and different methods. And many words are used metaphorically. In science, there's no metaphor. The word has a specific definition, and it must always hold to this definition. And you can't take the word, change its meaning, plug it in over here, and say, see, that backs it by science, because now it has nothing to do with science. And this is a big deal for me, okay? And I'll let you know why it's a big deal, okay? I'm not just going to throw this out there and go on a rant and be like, no, I have a reason. Y'all knew I grew up in church. You know this. I have had many a spiritual, mystical healer, 2 in the church, and God knows how many. I lost count of them outside the church within the occult, whether it be crystal healers, Reiki healers, angelic healers, you name them, I've seen them. And they have all cured me of my epilepsy, and they have all almost killed me because I still got epilepsy. But according to them, I should just drop my medicine cold turkey and have a grand mal seizure while driving down the road. No. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. And because of this, yes, I am very much not a fan of faith healing or many of the other alternative healings, because they put people in very dangerous situations. Now, that said, for those alternative healers out there, those Reiki workers out there, who also tell them not to forgo medical treatment for serious conditions, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You have no idea how much that means to me. Because I'm not saying these things can't help. I mean, even if we just look at it on strictly a scientific data recorded level, we know for a fact these things can offer a placebo effect, 100% measurable, that can benefit and help the individual. And any help that we can give someone who's in pain or having anxiety or depression, help is help. Let's help these people. That's great. But we should completely help them with every tool available and not try to demonize the other side of the equation, because I know people who have literally died listening to some of these healers. And that's where I have a problem. And that's why I draw the line. Now, I probably just lost a bunch of subscribers. I'm okay with that. Many of you know me. I have certain standards. I am a man of honor. I will speak my mind and I will stand my ground. And if there's people being hurt by something, I'm willing to take the hits for them. I don't mind that. But like I said, both of these things I do think can have possibilities. But when you're putting someone else in danger, yeah, I got a problem. And when you're trying to make a false claim, because whether you know the science doesn't prove it and you're just trying to hustle somebody, or you don't know what you're talking about, again, we run into a problem. And I'll admit the last 2 weeks I've had a crisis of consciousness, because I've wondered, in my statement of I try to approach magic in a scientific-like method, have I been accidentally adding gasoline to this fire, making people think that science is fully backing this? And I hope to God not. I hope to God not. But I can guarantee you right now, I'm spending a lot of time in meditation, reorganizing certain thoughts, working on my communication skills, and I'm going to try to clear out some of this fog, because that's important to me, because people are important to me. So yeah, we can expect to see a bit more of the science and the magic and the stuff, conversations possibly popping up here. But when it comes to terminologies, if you're misusing a scientific term, I'll call it out, because Witch Talk's the worst. Oh dear God, what you see on Witch Talk is absolutely deplorable anymore. And there's a very cult-like mentality to some of these belief systems. And I would rather shut my channel entirely down than to help fuel those fires. Seriously, that's how big I believe in this. But I also believe shutting the channel down is the opposite direction I really want to go. Because like many of my magician friends have told me and my colleagues, though I may not be perfectly abreast to cutting edge science, because I've been out of the scientific research field a little. I still read a lot, obviously. And I am going to have to brush up on some of my definitions. But I have a love and a respect for both sides of this equation, which does put me in a position to potentially clear out some of the fog. Now, if you're on the metaphysical side and you want to help me clear this fog, get in touch with me. We will talk definitions. We will find a way. I want to find a way through here. If by chance you're in the scientific community and you know what I mean about these definitions, like energy, believe me, when metaphysical people say energy and when scientists say it, it is not the same thing at all. If you use the word energy in metaphysics and say science backs it 99.9% of the time, you don't know what you're talking about. I would love to find a middle ground where we can clear this up and stop these charlatans from causing harm. But just like a good massage from a masseuse can be very therapeutic, maybe not nothing magical about it, but very therapeutic. I do think these things can be therapeutic. I would like to find a way to measure them. I would like to find a way to scientifically prove magic. I would love it. That is what I live for. But until we can, it's not science. And that's one reason you all will never find me, even though I've got my Reiki's mastered. I won't do it. I won't go out there and do Reiki. I've had way too many bad experiences with spiritual healers and the like, and I've seen them cause more harm than good, truth be told. And anytime I find a good Reiki worker, like the ones I mentioned earlier, and if you're all in here again, thank you. I do recommend them. I do. But I don't do it myself. So that is something in the future of this channel I am hoping to be able to find a middle ground on. Anyways, well, thank you for visiting my TED Talk. That was my rant for the day. For those of you who are still with me, thank you. For those who understand, thank you. For those who buggered off because I just pissed you off, I understand. I don't blame you. We all have our viewpoints. For those who are still contemplating, think it over and understand I'm coming from a place of helping people, not trying to disprove or destroy anyone's belief system. I'm just wanting to keep people safe, because we all know, if you've spent any time in researching the occult, you know there are things that happen that should not happen. And truth be told, when you look at science, not everybody's totally legit over there. All you have to do is look at the lipid hypothesis and all the data shenanigans that happened there. What I do like about science, the data can be followed. You can actually check the data and find out if there were some shenanigans. And that's why I love talking to researchers, because they're quick to point out shenanigans. And I think occultists need to be just as quick to point out shenanigans. I really do. Let's see. Ryan says, greatest treasure anyone has is their honor. It's great to choose, use, and keep. Thank you, man. I'm glad you understand. And I'm glad many of you understand this tirade, because I was sitting here watching people leave, but I don't care. This is a big deal to me. This is really heavy on my heart because, like I said, I'm epileptic. I've not hid that from y'all. And I realized what would have happened to me and what my wife would have lost had I listened to these people. And I've firsthand seen the damage it's caused. Now, that said, from a therapeutic side, with both sides of the fence understood, I've also seen the help it can give. And that's beautiful. Help is help. But we need to understand that middle ground, and we need to approach things logically and with a measure of safety and caution. I'm sorry, people. When I get a little heated, I get heated. I apologize. Hopefully you at least enjoy my Southern tirade here. Well said, Ryan. TikTok is great for laughs, bad for advice. I would agree with that. Heck, I didn't even know what TikTok was till last year. My daughter's been trying to get me to start a TikTok. I'm like, oh Lord, no. If I did, it would be silly. It would be goofy. I would not do information because I will be damned if I get tied up into the whole witch talk crap. Which, if y'all haven't, you should go check out my daughter's TikTok. Halloween, you can probably find her. She actually got me to star in a few of her Tiki Talks there. So, see, Luna, thank you for the super chat with a microphone. I got a microphone super chat. Thank you, Luna. Finally, that represents the yeah. It's like today's episode is Drake is ranting. Welcome to Drake's rant. Let's see. I got a list of things here. Let's make sure I got everything mentioned on my list. Y'all know I like my list. Otherwise, I forget crap like practically every stream. Art contest. We talked about that, correct? And the theme is just Magic and Halloween and Samhain. Have fun. Get creative. I would love to see your artworks. And you know what? I'm saying we're doing a video to show off the artwork. If you submit it, no, right now it will be entered into or put up in the video to show the Working Dragon Mystic community's artwork. Make sure it's PG, please. So before I say that, if for some reason you like past the 18 mark and you go past the PG, I won't be able to include it in the video. So be aware of that, please. Keep the artwork PG. We're going to be on topic focused for October. We talked a little bit about not overloading yourself before I went to ranting. But we will be talking about different topics. If I can do so, I'll announce the topic in the community tab beforehand. So that you guys can potentially drum up some questions dealing with that topic. Let's see. Overload not good. Weekly challenges. Weekly challenges have returned. This week's challenge, again, reminder, we are going to simplify, ease in, see what we can clean up, overcomplicate it. Minimalistic. You'll be amazed at how much that can help you. It can be a tricky one too. But we're going to start the weekly challenges off with this one. This one's a little on the easier side, so we'll get that. And of course, I mentioned the members only live streams to my tier 3 members and Patreons. Those are going to be up and going, like I said, bi-weekly. And if you do want to participate in those, you will have to join the Patreon or the channel membership for tier 3. The benefit to that is, since it is private, it doesn't get posted in any shape, form, or fashion outside those members. It allows us to cover topics that I cannot cover otherwise, which is fantastic. And they gave me a whole list of things they want to talk about. And I am really looking forward to these conversations. That is amazing. So looking forward to those. See what I got here. I saw a question about scrying up there. What's a good way for beginners to start if we have enough time. Is the art contest on Discord? The art contest, you'll need to submit your artwork either to me on Discord. You can submit it to me directly, or you can drop it in the art contest chat area on the Discord, or you can email it to me. Those are the ways you can get the art to us. And the email, of course, workingdragonmystic@gmail.com, as always. As far as getting started with the scrying is a tricky one. The big thing that you want to do, though, is you need to learn to relax your eyes and almost look past it. So what I actually like to do, and I will say this, a lot of people want to say grab an onyx mirror. Onyx actually is not the best medium for it. In fact, it kind of messes with the energy. I tell my students to go one of two ways. One, go get you a picture frame and a can of black spray paint. Take the glass out, spray the inside nice and dark, put the unpainted side facing out. When it dries, boom, scrying mirror. Or, look at that. That's a turned off phone. What's that look like to anybody? That looks like a mirror. Look at that. I can even get my filming light in that. This right here can make a great scrying device. It really can. You can even use a black cup of coffee. And you want to be able to learn to relax your eyes. What you're looking for to start scrying, much how we talk about relaxing our eyes to let the sigils start the lines to disappear and rise up off the paper when we're activating a sigil, even staring past it. That's what you're really going to want to do with scrying. You're not wanting to look directly at the mirror. You're almost going to look through it, like you're looking back here. So I'm actually looking past it towards you all, not directly in it. And you want to have nothing reflected in it. And as your eyes relax, you'll notice it'll tend to dull. It'll lose its shininess or cloud over. That means you are essentially tapped in and activating that scrying device. It's at that point it gets more complicated, but that is the first thing you want to start working on in training. Once you get that, then you want to put your focus to what it is you're trying to see. And that's where it gets tricky, because it's allowing that focus and that vision to process, because you're not actually seeing it directly in the mirror. The mirror is just a tool that allows you to process the information in a visual manner using your eyes. So you're essentially your arcane sight and your mind's eye and that start to kind of cycle on each other. It will appear in your mind before it appears on the mirror. For some people who scry, they never see it in the mirror. It's always in their mind. They always see the fog. But that would be the starter place. I am hoping to do a more detailed class on scrying and divinations at some point. For those who take Dragon Magic 101 and especially 102, in 102, we actually talk about using a mirror for astral evocation, and we go over how to construct it and the like, and we talk about scrying. So for those taking the Dragon Magic courses, those skills are also being taught in there. So what if it's like scary art? I don't mind scary art as long as it's PG-ish. You know, watch the gore, watch the nudity, those kinds of things. I love Gothic style scary art. I really do. So we just kind of got to keep it in that PG-ish area there, if you understand that. Yeah, I hate fingerprints on my phone. I actually have a cloth here that I'm that OCD guy who's constantly wiping his phone screen off. I won't lie, when I held it up and saw him, I almost reached for the cloth right away. Let's see. But now I will say that with the way the channel is going to be moving forward, with me trying to bridge this whole disconnect, if a question pops up that that I need to look up scientific terminology or the like and try to connect it to answer the questions or whatever, I may ask the admin to capture the question, and then I will go out and research it and try to get back with you in another live stream. Or if you're in the Discord server, I'll try and message you directly that way. But we are going to do our best to try and overcome this. Plain and simple. Also, for topics, when it comes to topics that we're going to be focusing on, if you have a topic you would like us to focus on, drop it in the chat. The admin will try and grab it if they can see it, and we will try to cover it. Again, not all topics can be covered. Some topics, you know how it is, YouTube and their standards, and that's fine. I understand that. I respect that. But we will try and cover as many as we possibly can. Good. I look forward to seeing y'all's work. I'm glad to see so many getting ideals already. That's great. Wildfire, that's actually a fair question. It depends on how you approach scrying. Generally, you can scry for divination purposes and potentially see shapes and try to translate them. Me personally, I like scrying not for that. When I set out to learn scrying, I set out to look for exacts and specifics. And the way I teach scrying with my students, I teach them to actually scry real world locations that they can physically go look after they do their scrying. And I give them actual tests that they can do to confirm what they're seeing in real time. I don't do any of this needs to be interpreted crap because too much can get lost in interpretation. So when I teach a student to start scrying, I teach them to scry actual locations in real time and try to get it as clear as they can. Now, obviously, like I said, the image is primarily going through your arcane sight and going to be seen in your head first and foremost. But it does take time because you got to, the more freely that information comes to you, the more accurate the image gets. And the more focus you put on it, the clearer the image gets. Now, we all have different stressors every day. No 2 days are the same. And because of that, you may not always get 100%. Some people may only get 80%. That may be the best they ever get. But by applying these real world tests when you scry into other planes, it also gives you more confidence in your abilities. If that makes sense. Actually, Seer, when it comes to science, there is a right or wrong. There is. And it's very simple. Either the data supports it or it don't. That's actually why there's such a huge and dangerous disconnect right now in metaphysics with the way that works. Because they're going with the anything I say goes, and that is not the way science works at any level. But they want to say anything I say goes. The universe is a mental construct of me. Therefore, I can do whatever I want. And they want to claim that's backed by science, and it is not. So when it comes to science, there are rules you have to follow. Topic, entity, quest. What do you mean by that? You want to focus on entity questions in general, specific entity. We could look at potentially doing some on groupings of entities, or I don't know if we could fill a whole thing on one entity. We could, depending on the entity. We're about out of time here. Oh, when it comes to magical tools, I'm practical as hell. I've even used my TV as a scrying mirror. So yeah, I'm practical as can be. And when I'm on the road, I do scry in my coffee because hey, it's black, it's reflective. Scrying mirror. So You can get very, very, very practical. See, that's one thing we've forgotten in the metaphysics. There are a lot of people trying to sell you overpriced crystals and overpriced things that they're telling you need for magic. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need it. I'm doing everything I can to get you practical magic that can actually create change. And I don't think you should break your wallet, your budget, or anything to do any of it. I keep told all the time that any of the classes over at the school could go for $200 easy. And I'm like, well, that's great, but I want it to be affordable. I want it to be accessible to anyone. So the school pays the price of the classes, helps me pay for the website so you all can get it, and it's still accessible without me overcharging you, because that's just crazy. So yeah, I will happily send you to something like this. Or for years, I used a black painted picture frame, like I just told you all. I may do a video on how I make those, but I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You take the glass out, you paint one side of it, you put the unpainted side forward, black mirror, bada bing. And it allows you so many customizations that way. But I've really fell in love with using my phone and something like that in recent years, because I've always got this thing with me. I mean, if I got to be strapped to my phone, which I'll be honest, I'm one of those people who complains about, I might as well find uses for it. I miss the days where the phone was in the kitchen, and if I left my house, that was it. I don't have to answer it. But before I get on another rant, again, sorry about that, but it was a needed rant. I still stand by, I believe it was a needed rant. I stand by that. And I don't know if I can ever bridge that. I don't know if I can ever clear up confusion. I don't know if I'll ever put a drop in the bucket of understanding on that topic. Doesn't mean I won't try. All right, everyone, you all have a fantastic weekend. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for what questions we did get to. And thank you for understanding my viewpoint and why I'm wanting to try and bridge that. I do want to appreciate, thank you for that again. And again, for those healers out there who do constantly tell your clients to also seek licensed medical professionals, thank you. You have my respect. Do remember the weekly challenge. If you are participating in it, you can tell us about your results during the next live stream on Friday, or we also have a weekly challenge, unless somebody deleted it. I don't think we deleted it. It shouldn't be. If it did get deleted, I'll make sure it's added back. We will have a weekly challenge section to the Discord. Pop into the Discord. Say hi to us. Join us. Share your results and your progress throughout the week with the weekly challenge if you like. I'm going to be doing the same thing. I am going to be winter cleaning my own practice and simplifying it and cleaning house to get my focus back so I can be the best Drake I can be, even if I'm still an asshole. We'll see how that goes. And y'all have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe. I have a day off tomorrow in theory. And I'll see y'all next time. Sunday for Magical Coffee Hour. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.